It literally ripped my heart out of my chest.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I feel like I've been slapped.
This hurt me on some level that like I'm not even kidding, like I shouldn't have read that.
And I can say with my whole chest, I hate this book. I literally hate this book.
Picture this. The doctors pull you out of the womb and voila. As a perpetual shit show of life flaunts itself before your eyes, a single question imprints itself on the forefront of your mind. Why? This is the same question that a little life confronts us with. The book grabs the reader by the collar, looks him in the eyes, and asks him this question. Why? The characters in the book remind me of collateral damage, a word used to describe the damaged goods left in the wake of a bomb blast. A severed arm, a broken building, burning flesh, charred landscape. The word is so fascinating because it applies perfectly to the human condition. A big blast took place and we are the unintended consequence. Sort of empty bullet shells left in the wake of a divine catastrophe that we have no conception of. A desecrated warpath where Jude, the main character, and his friends Willem, Malcolm, and JB are strewn haphazardly. Their little lives are just a small smidge withing on the giant blast radius of the claustrophobia that is the human experience, where everything you love or care about originates from a meaningless malfunction in the code. The characters enter the world as an unforeseen afterthought of a bigger, divine, holier conspiracy. Basically, the entire book goes somewhat like this.
Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
I would slap that smug smile.
Definitely eat shit. Eat shit. You can all eat shit.
Oh, gay, so gay. Dark nightclub, throbbing music, men's room stall.
A lot of people criticize the book for fetishizing trauma and creating a highly dramatized piece of fiction for shock value. In fact, the writer herself mentions in an interview that she strove to create a character that never got better. This intentional, insidious intent is what I imagine God must have been feeling when He created the world, with all its wicked and saintly delights. Because in a weird way, God too intended to create a character that never got better. So when you turn the pages of the book and curse the writer, you're not really angry at the author, but life itself. Because in real life, the worst atrocities take place and we're left with only slurs directed towards an indifferent God. I guess what I'm saying is, maybe Hanya Yanagihara just chose to tell the truth. The worst writer embellishes. The book criticizes its exact point when it says books lied. They made life a little prettier. Take any fairy tale or any movie for that matter where the character faces a lot of trials and tribulation, but all the suffering, all the pain is some giant big conspiracy from some higher divine, holier than thou fates up above, so that the character can reach her highest potential. The suffering that the character goes through is not futile, barbaric, and meaningless because it is justified by a happy ending. But when you turn off the TV, you're met with life. In real life, the clock strikes 12, the magic slipper does not fit, and the prince marries the evil stepsister. If you had questions about life lingering in the back of your mind, questions like why do we have to suffer? What is the point of life if all that it entails sometimes, for some people, is suffering? This book forces you to confront them head on because it is so extreme and polarizing, which is what I think the writer intended. One of the ways that Hanya asks these harrowing questions is by the end of the book when Jude kills himself. And the reader, along with feeling remorse, also feels a sense of relief. I know that I did. And that feeling interests me because it shows that there has to be more than suffering in life for it to be valuable and meaningful. Otherwise, why do we exist? This is something that humans feel viscerally and intimately within their hearts. This is also most probably the reason for the epidemic of nihilism in the world today. If you fail to give meaning to the suffering that you go through, You no longer see any value in your existence. It doesn't matter if in the grand scheme of things your suffering has meaning or not, but more so that it is your job to give it meaning so that you can live a fulfilled life for yourself. In that endeavor, your life becomes a collateral beauty rather than a collateral damage to a horrible, unfathomable design. Take any art, for example, and you will see that it was inspired from an acute level of suffering. In fact, you will witness some artist wishing for a tragedy so that they can create their next big thing.
Don't make me hate you. Loving you's painful enough.
Okay, sorry. But I really think you should write that down. I know it's not appropriate, but I really think you should write that down. It's really good for
I'm
a
not
line.
gonna write down.
No, I'm serious for your songs and stuff. It's perfect. It's poetic yet real. Serious.
Because all artists know this. Beauty is the offspring of tragedy, and tragedy is currency in the creative world. Vincent van Gogh, on the brink of madness, was institutionalized in a mental hospital when he looked outside the window of his ward, and the scene before him coalesced with the suffering and insanity brewing in his mind into one of the most famous paintings in the world. Starry Night. An artist follows certain rules. He does not mix up colors that don't complement each other. But God is allowed leverage in this endeavor because, well, he's God. God chose to create a world where opposite elements not only coexist together in perfect harmony, but need each other for their very existence. Pure suffering is needed for joy to be felt in your life. The book cover shows a man who's either at the peak of orgasmic bliss or tormented agony. The face of the man is contorted, deformed into a visceral, vulnerable expression. For a brief microsecond, pleasure and pain are so inextricably, agonizingly intermingled that they become one. That is the human condition. Tiger, tiger, burning bright, in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Did he who made the lamb make thee? The absence of meaning in suffering is life's way of forcing you to find it. If you're waiting for me to answer the question, why do we have to suffer? I'm sorry, but I cannot give you that answer. You have to find a good reason for why you've suffered in life. That's on you.
Good night. And always remember that. I said that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May.